sure that they have the financial dollars capable of being able to write business in our state. So if Lloyd's of London or Scottsdale or Erie or any of those wanna do business here, they have to fill out an application to be on what they call an approved, non-admitted list. Did you hear the word not admitted? That means they're not licensed to do business here, but they're on the approved list to fill the gaps for all those companies who can't, under the admitted status, that they're not able to write, so that's pretty good. What I know is this organization will oversee that, which is good, but what that office's duties are designed to do is that they have to look over even the policies, because we wanna make sure the policies are not detrimental to the customer. They also have to maintain all the records as to what business was written in the state of Florida, because they have to give those reports to the regulatory authority. However, guys and gals, if anybody wants to sell any of these products, they have to go through a surplus lines insurance agent to do so. And that surplus lines agent is required to, well, have quarterly reports. If those surplus lines agents are required to do quarterly reports, then that means they're going to say, here's who we wrote, here's the premium we chose to call them to, obviously, charge them in that particular case. However, in addition to that, you know the state of Florida's gonna get their pound of flesh. You know if there's premiums to be paid in Florida, the state of Florida wants their tax component, their tax part of that premium. So the surplus lines agent has to collect the taxes, and the surplus lines agent has to pay those taxes from the consumer to the division, and therefore, the state of Florida will get their money. You don't care how much the tax is, but you can see in number 6, that that's how much they're charging in taxes for surplus lines policies that are out there, it's 3%, you can see, okay. It's not 3%, it's 3%, well, you know what I'm saying. Okay, that's what I meant, okay. Why do you care, guys? Because the other question is that now somebody's gotta oversee the Florida Surplus Line Service Office, and because it's kinda like the JUAs, you know, is a state-run program type situation, the Board of Governors is gonna oversee them, which is good. However, the most important area that they'll ask on is a change of business. The reason this is important for you is because I'm here to tell you, surplus lines agents don't go directly to the consumer and sell the product. They don't. Surplus lines agents need so much production because they made promises to Lloyd's of London, they'll write a lot of business. So what they're gonna do is they're gonna be the brokering agent as the surplus lines, and what they're gonna do then is they're gonna actually have a 220 agent go out, find the client, talk to the client, and get the client to consider having the coverage through that surplus lines company. If you are the 220 agent, now what happens is, you know you're the person who wants to sell the policy to J-Lo. If you wanna sell that policy, you don't have to have a surplus lines license as long as you have an agreement with the surplus lines broker who is now going to allow you to talk about their product. You won't be able to bind the product because you're not the licensed agent on the account. You're representing the consumer, the broker, who is the surplus lines, represents the company. Because of that reason, as the 220 agent, what you need to know is the state of Florida had said that the surplus lines broker, which is the agent of choice, they have to keep a broker log as to who wrote the policies with them. I'm not worried about that. Look at the last paragraph, because the last paragraph is all about you, the agent. If you're the 220 agent and you're selling the ABC business a pollution policy, the problem with that is now, under surplus lines, there is always an earned premium. Earned premium says, in many cases, that 25% of the initial premium sent to the surplus lines company will never be returned to your customer at all. If your customer wants to buy a policy today, and now you've wrote the policy, you've bound the policy, and 2 days later they go, no, I found another policy somewhere else, just cancel it. We're gonna say, happy to do so, but you're only getting 75% back. I can promise you the consumer will have no sense of humor. So because of that reason, the state of Florida came along and said, okay, here's the deal. You, the 220 agent, better furnish all the documents to the consumer up front, so that they can make a good informed decision. They have to see the application as the buyer. They have to get a receipt and more importantly, the selection forms for what they're buying. Because we don't want them to already be in a case where they can't get back out of it again. So you, the agent, the 220 agent, have to provide all this documentation before you get them to sign an app and also before you collect premium from them. They need to have enough to make a good informed decision. Any questions? All right, moving on down, the last of the last is gonna take you to refunds on premium financing. Guys, if you have a party who went out and borrowed money to pay their insurance premium, I know what's gonna happen is there is a likelihood of money that should be going back to the insured if it doesn't stay throughout the entire policy term. Most of the premium finance companies will return it to you, the insurance agent. The reason they're gonna return it to you is because you kept your commission up front. If you took your commission out of the amount of premium, then you have to return back what is called unearned commission. Well, that means you can't keep all the money because the policy didn't go all the way through the end of the policy term. So the premium finance company will send it to you, and as they send their portion of the unearned premium, then you have to add your unearned commission to it, and then you have to send it to the consumer within a period of time. Guys and gals, what you can see here is 30 days is how much the insurance company has. However, us, the agents, only happen to have 15 days in order to take care of sending our unearned commission. So what we basically just told you is the premium finance company can send it to you within 30 days. You add your unearned commission within 15 days to it and send it to the consumer. That's a lot of time because the consumer wants their money yesterday, don't they? It's a lot of time. All right, that's the only thing you care about out of the premium financing category. Read the rest over your leisure, and that's all you really care. Any questions? Looking good. Wanna hear some better news? There's only 2 pages of statutes left. You celebrate everything. That is like a chocolate Oreo frosty right there. All right, guys, you need a walkabout. Come on back for 10 minutes. We'll get these 2 out of the way and then we'll go to lunch. See ya. Bye-bye.